that the establishment has been robbing you, that this power regime has been lying to you, and I am an insurgent against those things. That is a very popular message. I agree. Yeah, my advice to him is be the renegade you were in 16, because fair or unfair, I think it's fair to present this argument that the power centers have consolidated against your campaign in record ways.
Ana Kasparian, Cenk Uygur, and the Young Turks sat down with Charlie Kirk, and some of the conversation got pretty heated between Ana Kasparian and Charlie Kirk, where they discuss certain topics about the political landscape. And like I said, things got pretty heated and very, very interesting between the two. Let's get into this video here from the Young Turks of Ana Kasparian and the Charlie Kirk debate getting heated. Let's check this out.
I watch the media, and sometimes I wonder, am I just buying what they're selling? Is this reality? And what they're selling is that Trump is flailing. Trump is really struggling in campaigning against Kamala Harris, and he's really not helping himself by saying things that turn a lot of voters off, right? Remember, the election comes down to the independent voters, the swing voters. Those are the people who end up being the kingmakers, the deciders of the election. And he can't stop himself from attacking her on her looks, calling her stupid, like things that turn a lot of independent voters off, right? But how does the Republican base feel about it? Like, are they eating it up? Do they love it? Or do they want him to go back to a more economic populist message?
They're definitely resolutely behind him. There is a different way to look at it, though. The question is, will independents decide the election? Because you can also run up the score with your base, which Democrats have proven you could do that in certain elections. And I think you guys would agree, if you have a strong base and you're, for example, getting 60% turnout in a strong county, get 75% turnout, it's actually sometimes easier. But that doesn't, you're right. You do have at least 10 to 15% in the swing states of tilt swing independent voters. I think that the media is misrepresenting. I think Trump's had a fine couple weeks. It hasn't been the best for the campaign, largely because the headwinds have been so dramatic. I think he's at his best when he is making the argument that I am against the establishment that has robbed you. Whether you guys agree with it or not, I know you don't. But I'm saying he's at his best when he makes this argument that the establishment has been robbing you, that this power regime has been lying to you, and I am an insurgent against those things. That is a very popular message. I agree. Yeah, my advice to him is be the renegade you were in 16, because fair or unfair, I think it's fair to present this argument that the power centers have consolidated against your campaign in record ways. And he has a sentencing hearing in September, which will definitely play into his argument that they...
Real quick, what do you guys think? I asked this before. I'm very interested to hear what you guys think about the fact that Ana Kasparian and Charlie Kirk are basically agreeing that independent voters are going to be the ones that decide this election. I think that might have been true in the past. I don't really think that's true currently. And the reason why, I kind of feel like with as much information and as much media as we're inundated with, as we're hit with on a daily basis, most people nowadays are sheep and exist in echo chambers. I think most people out there kind of have their political opinions pretty much formed fully. There's not many people out there, because of how polarizing not just the candidates of Trump and Kamala Harris are, but just how polarizing the media is. Every single time something is created by media, it's always maximum polarity, because that's what sells. People have become so polarized. I don't know if there's that many people left that are swaying between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, trying to decide between the two. I think most people kind of have their minds made up. I think honestly where Donald Trump is going wrong is that he's losing a lot of his diehard supporters and losing their support because he's trying to appeal to these swing voters, to these people who are independent voters, as Ana Kasparian and Charlie Kirk referred to them. And I don't think there's that many of them. I don't think there's enough to justify losing your diehard voter base in order to chase after these independents. I think most people have their minds made up, and Donald Trump saying things like disavowing Project 2025 so much and saying that he doesn't want to push the abortion topic any further. He doesn't want to continue to try to ban abortion or anything like that. He says that over and over again, obviously trying to make an appeal to the independent voters. And his own voter base are like, dude, what the hell? Like, we don't want that. We don't want you to say things like this. We want you to go in the other direction. Why are you becoming so soft? And Donald Trump obviously is trying to appeal to the independent voters. But in turn, he's losing his diehard base because they like him because of what Charlie Kirk is saying that he's anti-establishment. He's, you know, they love him because he got abortion left up to the states. It's obviously not banned, but he at least moved the topic, and his voter base loves that. And now it seems like he's backtracking on all these things to try and appeal to the masses, trying to appeal to the independent voters. And I think that's a big mistake. Personally, let me know in the comments what you think.
They don't want me to be president, so they're willing to use unusual ways to try to prevent me from being president. And so, yeah, look, as far as the month of August, I think from his perspective, he's like, I beat one candidate, now I have to beat another. He had the debate with Joe Biden. He saw this thing happening, and he realizes right now that he's going to have, in a compressed time frame, you know, a very, very competitive race, where against Joe Biden, I don't think it would have been very competitive at this time. This convention would have been so not good.
Hey, don't scroll away. Come back.
Yeah, I'm scrolling away, Jank. I'm sorry, man.
He hurts his cause massively when he's constantly pleasuring donors on stage at rallies. When he says like, oh yeah, I was against electric vehicles, but now Elon Musk is strongly endorsing me, meaning giving me $90 million, right? Yeah, and it might be more than that. So now I love electric vehicles.
I will give Trump some credit. If you listen to his Twitter space,
I agree. Electric vehicles are lame. As a driver of a Mustang GT, electric vehicles are very, very lame, dude. How could you ever spend that much money on a car, meaning a Cybertruck or like a high quality Tesla, top of the line Tesla, and whenever you press on the gas, you don't even hear any engine noise, dude? How exciting is that? That's so lame. Anyway,
he was pretty. They had a back and forth. They were talking more at each other than to each, with each other. But he still says he doesn't believe in the electric vehicle mandate. To be fair, right? He doesn't believe in the subsidies for electric vehicles. So, I mean, I'm sure there's other examples you could list, but look, politics is never going to be pure as much as we'd like it to be. But I think that President Trump has done a very good job of having this economic populist message. And the other message that needs to be talked about, which I think is the Achilles heel of the Democrat Party, where Bernie Sanders used to actually have a great position on, is immigration. And the vast majority of this country thinks that we have too many people coming into the country too quickly in an unvetted way. And the economic populism one, Kamala Harris, I said this on my show, she has put the Republicans on defense. I think her policies are insane, to be honest. We could debate that, but maybe not a good use of our time. I think her policies are insane, but they're very popular. They're very popular to say, I'm going to make it easier for you to buy a home. I'm going to, make grocery prices more affordable.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
Well, I think price controls are a bad idea, but immigration is a very difficult issue for the Democrats. It's very difficult for them to navigate because the body politic thinks that we have too many people coming into this country, and I think President Trump needs to lean into it.
So, sorry, just real last thing on the donors. I hear you on immigration.
No, examples. I'm happy to.
Yeah. But so, you got Elon Musk, you got the oil companies where he just keeps saying, hey, look, they're giving me money and we should drill, baby, drill, and all this stuff. He just can't help himself from being obvious. But the number one, like the one that I'm curious as to your take, Miriam Adelson. So when he's saying, hey, I gave her the Presidential Medal of Freedom, first of all, she's a donor. Why'd you give her the Presidential Medal of Freedom? That's terrible, right? And that's better than the Medal of Honor. That's a disaster, right? So what do you make of that? Like, are you bothered that he's saying those things?
No, I'm not. I mean, he's pro-Israel. He's pro-Israel, and he's not going to share your views on that. But yeah, I mean, he was pro-Israel throughout his presidency. What you're getting at is he pro-Israel because of donor money? I don't believe that.
And you don't think?
I don't believe that either. Maybe you guys disagree in the comments. I believe it's even worse than that. I think he's probably pro Ben Shapiro's favorite country because you can't become president unless you are, to be completely honest with you. And that's not me just saying that randomly. That's me just saying what's exactly on AIPAC's website. I think it's like 95% of the people that they endorse win their elections, which basically means if you don't get endorsed by them, you're not going to win your election. So of course you have to be pro Ben Shapiro's favorite country if you want to win your election, if you want to become president, because if you don't, you're not going to win. That's basically how that thing goes. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about Charlie Kirk and Ana Kasparian sit down there. Things got a little bit heated, especially between Charlie and Jank when it came to the topic of Donald Trump. Let me know in the comments, though, what you think. Who do you think was in the right? Do you think Ana and Jank were in the right, or do you think Charlie Kirk was in the right? Let me know in the comments what you're thinking about this whole The Young Turks featuring Charlie Kirk episode in the comments.